A boy sits on a bench scrolling on his phone. A seemingly routine encounter with a police officer escalates. When prejudice meets power, the officer singles out the boy, demands his phone, and destroys it in an act of unwarranted aggression. What the officer doesn't know is that this isn't just any boy, it's the son of the Rock. And when the father arrives, the tables turn dramatically. Subscribe and like the video to see how the story unfolds. The idyllic tranquility of a perfect suburban day is painted across our screen as the camera pans leisurely across the street. Neighbors stroll with their furry friends, children pedal their bikes with youthful exuberance, and birds sing a carefree melody. In the midst of the serenity, a boy of no more than 14 years sits peacefully on a park bench, well-mannered and neatly dressed. He appears lost in the captivating world of his phone, oblivious to the captivating world around him, a picture-perfect scene of suburban bliss, until perhaps something unexpected is about to unfold. A formidable presence rolls into the picture as a police cruiser glides to a halt, its tires hissing against the asphalt. Officer Blake, a seasoned cop whose face bears the burden of 1,000 scowls, emerges from the vehicle. His walk, a calculated march that radiates authority. The murder of the suburban day suddenly dips into a gloomy undercurrent, the presence of Officer Blake darkening the scene with his unwavering gaze and stern expression as Officer Blake's penetrating gaze sweeps over the boy. His expression hardens, an ominous furrow forming between his brows, seemingly drawn by some unseen force. He advances toward the youth, his powerful stride carrying him over the grass, casting a shadow of menace over the once innocent scene. Towering over the seated boy, the height of his imposing figure, coupled with the badge on his chest, creates an intimidating aura, making it impossible for the boy to ignore the escalating situation. Officer Blake leans in close, his lips curling into a scowl as he unleashes a scathing rebuke. "What are you doing here, kid?" he demands, his voice cutting through the air like a knife. "This is a public space, not a hangout for troublemakers. Do you even live around here?" His words are drenched in accusation, a scathing indictment aimed at the boy without any apparent provocation. The boy's response is stark contrast to Officer Blake's antagonistic demeanor, his measured and polite, his composure betraying a maturity beyond his years just waiting for. "My dad, sir," he says, his words tinged with a touch of nervousness, the sir a testament to his respect for authority. Even in the face of intimidation, the boy remains unfazed, a cool-headed resilience that only serves to further infuriate the belligerent officer. Officer Blake's next demand, uttered with a tone of cold authority, reveals his unrelenting desire to exert control. "Let me see that phone," he barks, his hand snatching out like a cobra's strike. Now he adds, emphasizing the urgency of his demand, his demeanor brooking no dissent in his mind. This seemingly harmless teenage boy is a potential suspect, a threat to be quelled through any means necessary. The boy's defiance, small yet poignant, is a testament to his dignity. In the face of Officer Blake's aggression, his hesitation, a subtle yet powerful gesture, reveals a quiet courage that belies his age. "Why, sir," he inquires, his voice taut with indignation, "I didn't do anything wrong. I'm just waiting for my dad, like I said." Despite the rising tension in the air, the boy refuses to back down, the frayed nerves in his voice hinting at the courage it takes to stand his ground. Officer Blake's impatience spills over his voice, rising to a hostile pitch that sends shivers down the spine. "Did I stutter?" He spits the words, cracking like a whip handed over the aggression in his voice is palpable, his demeanor transforming from intimidating to outright hostile as he advances on the boy, his clenched jaw and clenched fist betraying his barely contained fury. To Officer Blake, the boy's defiance is an affront, a challenge to his authority that must be squashed at all costs. As the boy relents, reluctantly surrendering his phone to Officer Blake's invasive scrutiny, the officer's sneering expression turns into one of contemptuous dismissal. "What kind of kid needs a phone like this?" He scoffs, his tone dripping with derision. "Bet you stole it." The accusation, levied without any evidence, lands like a gut punch, a crude attempt to dehumanize and dismiss the boy as nothing more than a common criminal. Yet the boy, despite his innocence, finds himself powerless to defend against Officer Blake's prejudiced assumptions. Incensed by Officer Blake's baseless accusation, the boy's voice rises in pitch, his words defiant. "No, sir," he insists, his eyes blazing with indignation. "My dad got it for me. It's mine." His words, brimming with conviction, echo through the air, a testament to his unwavering determination to defend himself against Officer Blake's prejudices. Yet despite his protestations, the deck is stacked. Against him, the weight of Officer Blake's authority pressing down on him. Like an iron vice, Officer Blake's sneer curls into a sadistic smirk, his eyes burning with a malevolent glee as he raises the phone high above his head in a sudden violent motion. He brings the device crashing to the ground, the impact shattering it into a million tiny pieces that glint like broken glass on the pavement. The sound of the destruction cuts through the air, a cacophony of destruction that leaves the boy's mouth agape, his eyes wide with shock and disbelief. The disdain in Officer Blake's voice is palpable as he addresses the boy with a cold, emotionless stare there. He says, his voice brimming with contempt, "Let's see you play your games now." The arrogance in his tone is unmistakable, the viciousness of his actions betraying a cruelty that goes beyond mere intimidation. For Officer Blake, destroying the boy's property, a cherished gift from his father, is nothing more than a power play, a demonstration of the authority he wields and the consequences that await those who dare to challenge it. As the boy takes in the wreckage of his beloved phone, his expression transforms from defiant determination to utter heartbreak. His eyes, once blazing with indignation, now shimmer with unshed tears, his lower lip quivering as he struggles to contain his emotions. The sight of the destroyed device, a precious gift from his father, now reduced to rubble, seems to break something inside him, a cruel reminder of the casual brutality that exists in the world. The boy stands frozen in place, the enormity of the moment overwhelming him. The scene has attracted the attention of nearby onlookers who have gathered like spectators at a car crash, their eyes wide with shock and horror. But as Officer Blake turns his gaze upon them, his expression a chilling blend of malevolence and intimidation, the spectators freeze, their mouths suddenly dry and their tongues tied with fear. Their instinctive desire to intervene is suppressed by the palpable sense of danger, the fear of retribution or retaliation silencing any potential protest. The scene has become a living tableau of silence, broken only by the boy's quiet sobs. The boy's desperation is evident as he fumbles with his backpack, his hands trembling with shock and anger as he retrieves a second phone. The device, an older model with a cracked screen, is a stark contrast to the expensive phone Officer Blake destroyed with